I'm Matt, and this is Procrastination Garage. Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, it's Thursday morning, time to prepare to go camping this weekend. Who wants to go camping? I do. The problem is it's raining. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it'd be nice if it wasn't raining. So we've got to prep the motorhome, we've got to get this trailer hooked up to the motorhome, we've got to get the side-by-side loaded. Lots of little things. I'll just show you the things that are interesting, or at least the things that I think are interesting. How's that? It looks like I'm done playing shuffleboard. Got the white truck moved over the edge of the driveway. Unhook the trailer there. We'll back the motorhome in there and hook up to it. And then the green truck, which was blocking the motorhome bay, has been moved out of the way, although it is in the way of that snowmobile trailer down there, getting the front door open, and I'm sure I'm going to need to go in there. But one step at a time. Get the motorhome up on top and start prepping it. In the motorhome, it's been sitting, I don't know, all winter. Had the battery tender on it for a while, so battery should be good. Will she start? Always starts. Next up is getting my long extension for the stinger, and then getting the stinger on there, get everything locked, and get the trailer hooked up. Of course, it's out in the rain, but that's all right. Truck moved. Why I didn't put it there in the first place is beyond me. These are my two magic boxes. I have them for when I'm towing trailers. This should be with the trailer. This one's got some tools and some electrical and some bearings, although I'm not sure the bearings fit any of the trailers I'm currently towing. Should check on that. And then this one over here is electrical parts and pieces. There's what we're looking for right there. All plugged in, trailer lights work, sort of. When the headlights are on, I seem to have a ground issue, and when the running lights are on and the turn signals are on, both sides kind of flash. But if I turn the running headlights off, then the turn signals work just fine. We're not going to be traveling after dark, so I'm not going to worry about it, and we just won't run with the headlights on, which I prefer to, but you know what? I don't feel like dinking around with wiring right now. So I do need to get a zip tie and clean that up so it's not dragging on the ground. I'll do that. I took the connections apart again. I sprayed some contact cleaner and then put some dielectric grease in there. Put everything back together, zip tied out of the way. It didn't change the function of the lights, but they don't work any worse. So we're calling it good for this trip. Put the tools away. I checked to make sure the anode in the hot water heater was tight, and I've got water going into the coach. Well, I also closed a couple valves. There's one back under the bed, and there's a couple under the kitchen sink. Both those are closed, so it'll take at least 30 minutes to fill the water up because it's kind of slow going. In the meantime, I'll start packing some stuff inside, mainly food items, I think. Refrigerator, don't forget the refrigerator. I just turn it on, see if it'll fire on gas. Usually it doesn't fire the first time, so I have to keep an eye on it. It'll come up with a check light right here that tells me I need to try again. And what it is probably because there's gas isn't in the line. Although I forgot to shut the gas off at the tank, so it may have gas in the line. The motorhome's in pretty good shape. Filled with water, filled with food. Haven't put any clothes in there yet, but it's mostly done. So I was going to move on to the UTV, load it up with firewood, and get it loaded on the trailer. But then I remembered something. I'm not satisfied with the fabric roof situation, and it may be I can't cure it, but we're going to work on it a little bit longer. The piece of Velcro that I put on here in a recent video should have been down probably just one more width. So we're going to put another layer there. And then what I learned is that I'm the idiot. This is a special kind of Velcro, and even though it looks the same, both pieces, if you push them together, they do in fact stick. So the good news is the Velcro that is on that, which is the fuzzy part, sticks great to this. And then also you push this against that and it sticks. So it's a win-win. So I'm still going to put a section to the right and to the left, or depending upon which way you're sitting in the car, left and right, and see if I can help hold that down. Because what happens going down the highway, wind is getting up underneath this. So I'm thinking if I can Velcro it down, maybe I can stop that from happening. We'll see. The passenger side is done. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to hold up. I mean, it's fine on the trail, even going down the road 35, 40 miles an hour. The problem is when you're trailering at 60, 65, 70, that's where it's probably going to be an issue. And behind the motorhome, I won't even see it. And then behind the motorhome, it probably won't get as much wind. So I don't know. Anyway, got to put some pieces over on this side. It'll be 3 pieces, and then we'll go give it a shot and see what it does this weekend. All right, both sides are done. I honestly don't have a whole lot of faith that this is going to be a long-term solution. I hope. I mean, I wish it would be, but I don't see it. Too many fail points. Wind can still get up under there a little bit, which will just keep pressure on it the whole time. Plus, I'm not so sure that the 3M sticky tape is going to keep sticking to either the fabric or the metal. I don't know. I guess what I'm going to have to do is start saving up for a roof, but that's kind of low on my list of priorities because I want to get the suspension taken care of. I want to get the new tires on. I want to get some new A-arms. I want to get some new springs. These are all things that are going to be in the works here shortly. And they'll cost money, and money is something I got to budget a little bit. So let's get some firewood loading this thing. How's that? Got some firewood on there. Not taking up as much as I did last time when we were snowmobiling. 2 reasons. One is I can only get so much in the back of the Terex. 2, we'll have a chainsaw and the weather will be better. We can go gather firewood if need be. So let me see if I can find a way to hold this down better. Last time I lost a couple pieces that fell down on the trailer. None of them fell out into the road, but that would have been a disaster if they had. I used an old cargo net that I had and then a couple of straps. The cargo net, though, is not in very good shape and it's not really meant to do something this small. But the strap should hold everything in place. So let's get the thing loaded on the trailer, and then that part of the project is done. It's Friday, about 12:30, and Dog and I are headed to the hills. Dog. Anyway, we're running a little bit late. I already had to stop once, actually twice. Once I stopped to grab some food, but I tried to play with the fabric roof for the UTV. I wasn't happy with the way it was flopping around, and then I drove a little bit further because I still wasn't happy, and so now I've got it strapped down to where I think I like it. But it's right back to where I was before, where it's a lot more work. I can't just leave it alone. So that's a disappointment, but at least it's not going to tear up the Velcro we just put on there. So we need to start saving for a plastic roof for it, or some kind of hard roof. Or maybe we'll build one, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know who all's going to be camping this weekend. I know it's me, and I know it's my friends Ron and Dee, and then I've already heard from Jim, the club president. One group is already bowed out, so I don't know. And then in addition to who's going to camp, who's going to come up tomorrow and do the cleanup with us, don't know that either, but I guess we'll know about 9 o'clock tomorrow if people are there or not. Regardless, we're going to have a good time. I'm going to have a good time because I've got the side-by-side and I'm going to go play. Even if nobody else is around to go play, I'm going to go play. So let's go set up camp.
By late afternoon, 4 families had set up camp in the back of the Cold Creek Snow Park. Here is our cleanup crew for Saturday. This video is from our ride on Saturday afternoon. We had 3 UTVs along. While we did ride on Saturday, I didn't take any video footage of that. We did encounter some snow. It wasn't very deep, but it was mostly packed down pretty firm, so we didn't have any real problems on this day or on Friday either. Regarding the snow park cleanup, we cleaned up about 3 snow parks and several miles of road connecting in between the snow parks. The weather was a mix of rain and sun, and there were a few times we had to huddle underneath the pop-up around a little propane fire. Other times we were enjoying a nice big roaring fire. None of our meals were very organized. Everybody just brought out food anytime we had a meal and shared. In addition to picking up trash, a couple of us on Sunday took our chainsaws down and cut a couple of trees out of a trail that had fallen over the wintertime. Just doing a good deed. Our ride on Saturday was cut short. Well, not really, we were headed back when one of the UTVs suffered a mechanical failure. The transmission just kind of quit working in it. We ended up having to tow it back, and in fact, I was playing tail end Charlie, and my friend Don, he was towing John back. There were a couple of uphill climbs through the snow that put Don's machine to the test, but overall he managed to get John back to camp.
The weekend's over, we're headed home, and yeah, I suck. I didn't do much in the way of video or anything. Sorry, just having fun with my friends and not thinking about it. I really need to get a GoPro type camera. I keep saying that, but I really need to get it done. Mount it to the UTV, get some footage. I got a little bit, but it wasn't very exciting. Anyway, that'll be the last camping trip until June, but it won't be the last time we go play in the mountains for sure. We had 4 other groups camped, one extended family, and then 2 others. We had another solo guy like me up there. He was camping in a snowmobile trailer, me and the dog in the motorhome here, and then a guy with a toy hauler and a side-by-side, or a guy and his wife in a side-by-side, and then our friends Ron and Dee, and then their grandkids came up last night, and great-grandkids, and another person's a friend of theirs. And anyway, it was a great weekend, although we did get rained on way more than we should have. A little bit cold, a little bit windy, but you know what? You're camping in April, so what do you expect? So let's start something new. Hi, since you're still here, do me a favor, hit the like button. Please subscribe, and please tell all your friends. And check back in following weeks and see what we're doing with this thing. Thanks. It's Wednesday morning around 10 a.m. and the neighborhood looks great, doesn't it? It's a beautiful day today, except for the wind's blowing. I don't know if you can hear it. You can see it on the top of the trees. It's supposed to be up near 60 today. It's not there yet, so it's kind of chilly this morning. So what do we got planned? Do you have one of those wives that continually nags and nags and nags at you? Well, I don't, but that being said, my wife has been pestering me about a yard sale. So here's the deal. Last year, down in the container, one of the containers, I built a bunch of storage shelves, and the reason was because there's a bunch of stuff down there that needs to be sold at an upcoming yard sale. We've been putting it off. We've had 2 yard sales. This would be number 3. And basically we're getting rid of estate stuff from my mom, my stepmom, and dad, maybe grandparents. There's a bunch of stuff thrown in there. Anyway, we're going to do it in the shop. The problem is we are nowhere near ready to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start prepping for it. What that means is keeping the motorhome out of the shop. The big boat you guys see in the background, it needs to come out of the shop. There's a bunch of other stuff. So we're kind of going to get started on that today. Hey there, Bear. Are you going to help? I say kinda because we've got work to do out here first. This snowmobile trailer needs to be backed in over there. But before I do that, that stuff there is metal stuff that needs to be loaded in the back of the truck, which is going to go to the local junkyard. And then I need to blow out all this area here. Then the motorhome is going to park in there right next to it. Before we can do any of that, we've got to get the lawnmower unloaded, get that trailer disconnected. We need to move the green truck. I mean, there's a whole lot of just stuff that has to be done. And yeah, it's kind of yard sale prep. It's also kind of just getting things straightened up and organized. Plus I want to spray a weed killer in the front yard, and I've got some work to do down on the bottom property. So I'm just going to tackle a project here or there, and I'll show you and tell you about it as I'm doing it or when I'm done or something. How about we start over here by this old Craftsman lawnmower. This is a runner, but it has frames broken in a couple places. I've kind of patched that, but I think the mower deck has a crack in it. Anyway, I retired it quite a while ago, but it's a future procrastination garage project, getting up and running. But here's what we need to do right now. The Craftsman mower I'm using right now had a bad wheel bearing when I got it, so I stole the wheel assembly off of this one. And when I did that, I just jacked it up with one of my little hydraulic jacks, and that's where it's been sitting ever since. Well, I'd like to get this jack back because I may need it for something. So let's put a jack stand underneath this, something we can afford to leave here forever if it comes to that. That was easy enough. Now, how long do you suppose it'll be before I'm looking for that jack stand and can't figure out where it is? Luckily, that's one I just about never use. Anyway, this jack is out. The problem is, it's been sitting out here so long that this part doesn't want to screw down. So we're going to go put it in the vise and loosen it up, and then we'll put it away. Somewhere I have a box for it. Yeah, barely needed anything. All right, I'm not going to show you leaf blowing this area, but you need a before picture. Otherwise, it won't have the same impact when I'm done. Or else I'll do a piss poor job, and then you'll be able to say, hey, you did a piss poor job. But we're going to try and get as much of this cleaned up. Because again, this trailer here, we want parked pretty much right to where there's just enough room between that upright there to walk through there. So it'd just be nice to start out with a clean area. And what we'll do is the tires on each side will be set up on these 2x6s, because what I found is in the summer when it gets really hot, the weight of this trailer will sink into the asphalt. So by putting it on those 2x6s, it spreads the load a little bit. So let me show you when I get all leaf blown. How's that look? Much nicer, right? All the leaves blown out, most of the dirt blown out. Restacked my tires. Yeah, tires. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those tires. You know, the county wants, I think, $10 a piece to turn them in. I'm not paying that. You know, especially because in the state of Washington, you know, you got to pay a fee when you buy tires. That may be a national thing, you know, which is supposedly a disposal fee. And so just because I don't go to a tire shop, I'm going to be penalized? No, I don't think so. Anyway, next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the trailer forward, clean this area a little bit, and then we'll move the trailer over here. And then that part will be done. There she sits. I do need to lower the tongue down so it's resting evenly on the axles, but it can sit there until fall if need be. I made sure that I had 7 feet from the end of the trailer to the end of the pavement here so I could lower the door and not have to worry about being in the water. So that's all good because we need to work on that. So, and then there's room right in here to get the motorhome in. So we'll do that, and it'll sit there until after the yard sale, I suspect. I'm pretty happy with that. The motorhome can go back a few more feet, like when we have the yard sale. Trying to leave room in there to get the mower through for now, but that's good. The landscape trailer, I'll probably end up parking right up against the camper, and then I've got room to park the green truck in there once I clean that up a little bit more. But let's go move trailers around down on the bottom property. I've got the Wassa trailer all hooked up. What I want to do is orient it like this one is, but back both of them up against the container that's just on the other side of that trailer there. So once I move this trailer out of the way, I'm going to go up and get my mower and my weed whacker, come back down, mow and weed whack that area, and then I'll move those trailers into position. I may spray some Roundup in there too to keep it from growing any grass in there while the trailers are parked there. Trailer's out of the way. Let's go get the mower and weed whacker and clean that area up. Looks like we have some hunting to do. And I see all of a sudden I got some gopher activity down here on my hillside. I don't like it. Mowed and whacked. Looks pretty good, right? All right, let's get some trailers parked in there. I'm happy with the placement of that one. Got this one hooked up, ready to go. Back it in right next to it, and we'll be done. So what do we think? I think it looks pretty good and organized. You know, the neighbors over there, you know, they get a look down on my property, and you know, I don't want it to be too junky. I mean, I've got junk down here. I've got old beat up campers, snowmobiles, but I try and keep everything organized. So that goes a long way to do that. It's Friday morning around 8:30 a.m. and I finished spraying the cherry trees, I don't know, about an hour ago. Ate breakfast. You can see the grass needs mowing. That's on the agenda for today. But not yet. Let's head to the hills. I mean, hey, the grass will be there to be mowed when we get back in the afternoon. And besides, everything's real wet this morning, needs to dry out. So what are we doing? Just want to go see where the snow level's at on Chinook Pass. Didn't take anything up this weekend, no side-by-side. Could have gone snowmobiling maybe. We got some snow at higher elevations. But I just want to see if we do a ride on Chinook Pass next week, where we can go and stuff. So just going to go up and hopefully make a loop. My goal is to go up the 1600 road, which goes up through the Nile, heads up to Clover Springs, and then it'll intersect the 1706, I think, and ideally I'd like to be able to make a loop and come down 1706. Maybe too much snow up there to do that, so we'll just go up and see. The trip today is Sand's dog. Yeah, she didn't really want to go, and like I said, it's supposed to just be a short, quick trip. Be back by noon, before noon, so that's the goal anyway. Now, I'm not bringing any recovery equipment. I got no shovel, I got no jack, no tow strap, nothing, so you know, if the road starts getting dicey, we're turning around and going back. No fooling around. Made it to dirt. This is the 1600 road. So I took a bit of a detour. Just wanted to follow this road down. This is one we snowmobile on. There's a little bit of snow on it, but not much. Yeah, just a little bit of snow. I made it back to the 1600 road, and I was following it up a little bit, and then I saw a little spur that went off to the left, and I think it just was a hunting camp. So I drove back in there, and I got out and decided to walk around a little bit, and I found this little road. And it's an old logging road, and I'm always looking for a new place to snowmobile. So even though it's closed to wheeled vehicles, it's not closed to snowmobiles. So I started hiking down it. This was looking back up toward the truck. And it continues on that way, and I'm going to go that way. But look what I found here. Somebody built themselves a little shelter here. It's pretty crude. I wouldn't trust it to keep the rain out, but kind of cool, right? So when was it built? Must have been last fall, based on the fact that there's still some green showing. Everything's turning brown. But you just never know what you're going to find when you're walking out through the woods. So we'll walk down this road a ways, and if I find anything interesting, I'll show you. Found somebody's arrow too. Made it to the top of 1600 and now headed down 1706. Interestingly, there wasn't a stitch of snow on 1600 all the way up. The only snow I saw was up on a spur road. As soon as I turn on to 1706, I'm already seeing snow. Shouldn't be a problem going down though. A lot of this on the way down is south facing, so it'll melt. It has melted off. And the stuff that's not will be lower elevation, so not a problem. So yeah, we need to plan a side-by-side ride up here soon. It's Saturday afternoon, evening, about 4 o'clock. 4:30? I don't know. Anyway, does this look like we're getting set up for a yard sale? I mean, this is just the beginning stages. Yep, pretty much all those tubs over there still have to be emptied. Plus, I've got a full container full of stuff. And right now, we're only working in this one bay because we've got to get the boat out of here. Tractor will be out during the day, but coming back in at night. Same with the UTV. ATVs, hoping to get those over in the garage. And then the mower down in that last bay there, it can stay outside. And then I've just got a bunch of other cleaning up to do. This mess over here needs to all be cleaned up because I've got to bring stuff in here to park it, like motorcycles and toolboxes, which need to be cleaned up, and just, oh my God, table saw, just stuff. What'll happen is, if you see this tarp here, that tarp will run straight across to there. So, and then the tarp will run across there to there. So everything back in there will be out of sight, out of mind. So I've got a little bit of storage room back in here too. Anyway, we've got a ton of work to do. But the good news is the yard sale is not happening anytime soon. I don't know when it's happening. It's at least 2 weeks out, maybe longer than that, because we've got to work around my wife's work schedule and stuff. So, but I just wanted to show you that I'm not just sitting around watching YouTube videos and TikTok, actually getting some work done down here. And you know what? I'll show you guys as I move along. And the goal is to actually get some serious cleaning up of this area, because you know how I am. Shit just gets stacked up. It's the procrastination in me. So we're going to work real hard to get things straightened up. Hey, see that stuff there? Yeah, that's stuff for the side-by-side. I'll show you that in an upcoming video. All right, that's it for today. Maybe I'll talk to you again tomorrow on Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon, about 5 p.m. Okay, Sunday evening around 5 p.m. Does it look any different? My wife's been working on all this stuff, putting more stuff out. It needs to be organized a little bit better. we're just trying to get it out of all these plastic tubs. We got a bunch of stuff my daughter needs to go through. Anyway, see over there, I put up shelves. Those are right there in front of the roll-up door. So we're trying to limit it so people can only get in and get out in one area. So this bay here I haven't got to yet. Probably do this tomorrow. Need to get the boat out, but I need to put some tarps over the boat. And then the tractor needs to come out. So I got this bay all cleaned out. ATVs are over in the garage now. Getting some tables set up. Got some more shelves set up here to block this door. And I do have enough of these shelves to block in front of that door too. Put the side-by-side over in the first bay there. The riding mower is going to sit outside. Motorcycles going back on the motorcycle stand / lift. And then it's going to get wheeled somewhere back into there. So I'm hopeful, pretty sure, I'll be able to get the tractor and the UTV in this bay when I'm done. So we'll see. Anyway, wrapping up for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. It's Monday morning around 11 a.m. and we're out running errands. And one of the errands is Harbor Freight. All done at Harbor Freight. Was I successful? I guess you'll have to wait till we get home. It's Monday afternoon, back down in the shop. So one of the next thing that needs to happen is this boat needs to come out of the shop. And this boat was given to me by a friend of mine, and it belonged to his wife's father. And it had been parked undercover for probably decades. And I couldn't leave it out in the weather when he gave it to me. So I made room in the shop. My wife, she complains about it taking up space in the shop. And she's right, it does. But I'm not just going to toss it outside. I can't do that to it, not yet. Not until we do some more exploration with this boat. Figure out if it's worth fixing up or what. But anyway, the reason we went to Harbor Freight is we needed a tarp. We're going to throw a tarp over it. So trying to find the compromise between price and size, I went with a 19 by 29 foot tarp. I'm hoping 19 will go across. You know, it mainly just needs to get across the upper part, and then it'll be roped down. And then 29 feet for length. I'm not sure how long this boat is. I don't think it's 29 feet. I'm not sure how long it is though. Anyway, we're going to try and get the tarp strung across it. Now ideally I'd like to do that outside, but the wind's blowing. So if we work on that today, it's going to have to be done in the shop. And the other thing while I was there, decided to get some anti-fatigue foam mats. These are to go in the floor of the Terex because people say that a lot of dust comes up through the floor, and this will help keep the dust down on the inside. And I do get a lot of dust on the inside. And then also part of my storage solution in the Terex, I bought some tie-down straps to always keep in there, and I've got more coming on this part of the project. Anyway, I don't know when I'll get to this. I've got a whole bunch of stuff for the Terex. I think I showed this already. This whole pile of stuff, this is all stuff for the Terex. And also our new, in quotation marks, tires and wheels. These are the ones I bought recently that are off a Talon, Honda Talon. So I need wheel adapters for these to go on. And we need to measure for that, so that's another thing we've got to get done. But I can't do any fun stuff until I get this stuff out of the way for the yard sale. Because the whole thing is my wife, she wants to be able to come down here and start setting stuff up. And I want to be able to help her with that, and we need room. So this is one whole bay here that'll be empty, where the boat is and the tractor and the bike. And anyway, I think first thing we're going to do today, hey, there's a little bear walking over there. You see him? Hi, bear. We're going to get the motorcycle up on the motorcycle lift, and we're going to move it. I guess we're just going to move it right back into there. We don't have to move very far. This wall of plastic here will come straight across here over to that beam right there. So post, I guess, actually. Really? You're kind of loud. So anyway, let's get that up there and get that rolled out of the way. And then over here next to the boat, we still have to deal with this. This is the stump grinder attachment that goes on the back of the John Deere tractor that we haven't opened up yet. And I would like to keep it inside the shop somewhere, but it can't sit there, so I don't know where I'm going to put it. That means getting the forks for the tractor and moving it. So I don't know. We should get to that today at some point. So that wasn't so bad. The kickstand safety switch was acting up again. Had to fiddle around with it, but got it working, so able to idle the bike up on there. Easier than running and trying to get a run at it and get it up on there. And that way we know that the bike still runs. So I think that's a good spot to leave it. This gives us more room here, so I'm thinking when I bring the John Deere tractor in, maybe I can back it in and the backhoe section can kind of go back in there. And then I'll have room to get the side-by-side in also. Maybe we'll try that here in a little bit. What next? One thing I'd kind of forgot about was my engine hoist. So it needs to come out of here. So what I'm thinking is, how about these shelves here? We know we're going to be using them. Get those moved, and then we'll put the engine stand in there, back it up against that wall there. That'll still give me plenty of room to get the tractor in. So I'll show you when I'm done. How's that look? Got the engine hoist in there and put the new UTV tires back in there. And I think we can back in there, and the backhoe section will fit right in there perfectly. There's just not a ton of room in here. I can back the UTV up a little bit, and maybe I can kind of offset them a little bit. But let's go ahead and back it in and see what happens. She no fit. Not yet anyway. So I'm off by about a foot. And I've really got no more room. I could put the bucket. Oh man, I could just raise that up, couldn't I? If I just raise that up, that'd give me plenty of room. And it probably won't come down. Hydraulics are pretty stout on this thing. It'll hold it up. All right, we'll probably do that. But I just realized our summer outdoor furniture is still up here. And I should go ahead and bring that down and get it put up on the patio. So I'm going to need to move the tractor back out anyway. So let me get that done and we'll try again. I took all the patio furniture down, put it up on the patio, but I had a change of plans. Put the tractor in sideways. It fits much better this way. Gives me plenty of room to get the UTV in here. And plus it'll give me a little bit of a walkway between the two to get over in there. So next thing up is we need to pull that boat out a little bit. Still have a few things in the way. Lawnmower, that can go outside. Generator, that can probably be shoved back there along with that drill press. There's a drill press underneath that garbage sack right there. Still need to do something with this. I'm thinking putting it up on some snowmobile dollies, and that way I can wheel it wherever I want. How do I get it up on there? That's a good question. I don't want to go down and get the forks for the tractor. So I'm thinking maybe my high lift jack will lift it up. We'll see. So I did the same thing to the other side there. Used my pry bar to get it up high enough to get the high lift under it, jacked it up, put two more dollies under it. So now we can roll it wherever we want. I think for now, we're just going to roll it off that direction because in the end, I probably will go ahead and stick it back there somewhere once the boat's out of the way. So let me make some room. And then that generator, that's a Procrastination Garage project. Need to get that out of the way. I found this cardboard box down on the floor down here and opened it up, and what do I find? An ice scratcher for my snowmobile. Luckily, it's not the one that was busted that I replaced earlier, because I went and found the one that I took off, which is this one here, which is a match for that one. So this one was still good, kind of sort of, it's short, but I decided to keep it around. So anyway, now I've got two of those, whichever side they go to. But we'll go ahead and hold on to them, because like I said, that one's brand new and you never know when you're going to need it. Next step before dragging this trailer forward a little bit, let's put some air in the tires. We'll take them up to about 50 psi. We have a couple of choices to move the thing forward. I'm thinking about using the winch on the UTV. Why? Well, first, I've never done it. And use the winch, I mean. And then second, it seems about as easy as any other way, really, when you come right down to it. So let's try it. That's it. I'm wrapping up for the night. Didn't get as much done today as I'd hoped, but I made decent progress. Tomorrow we'll get the tarp on the boat, get the boat out of here. Did good things down here though. You can see the UTV fits just fine. Plenty of room to walk around the back side of it and room to walk in front of it between it and the tractor. So I'm happy with that. So see you guys tomorrow. It's Tuesday morning, about 11 a.m. and the wind is blowing, and I hate windy days. But I need to go over and mow White's place. There's really not much to show you over there as far as the mowing goes, but I may do something else over there, and if so, I will show you. But let's get loaded up and head on over. Coming up on noon time and just leaving, finally. Man, loading up takes longer than you think, always. And granted, I did have to go do some sprinklers, turn some off, others on. I did a little raking of some gopher dirt. You know, there's other things that came up, but man, just everything takes so darn long. Let's get over there and get the mowing done. It's Tuesday afternoon and it's windy, and I was over at the rental mowing, and I was going to do some other work over there, and I was going to video that, but it's windy. It's just kind of miserable outside. So I guess that means we should be back to work in the shop, working on getting the tarp on the boat. What do you think? All right, got a quick change of plans. With all this wind blowing, I can do some more leaf blowing out here, or in this case, driveway blowing, gravel blowing, something. And everything will blow off that direction, which is where I want it to go. So I think we'll take a few minutes and do that. Then we'll go in the shop. All right, if I'm being honest, the wind was not as much of a help as I'd hoped it would be. But I did get all the gravel blown out, most of it blowing over into here. I'm much happier now. I want to park that trailer back up against this camper here where I'm not using it, and that area was pretty messy. I still need to do something with this area and through here. But until I get that wood split, which means firing up a log splitter, I'm not going to do anything. So she's looking good. Let's go in the shop. Down in the shop, and Bear's being a pain. What's wrong, buddy? He's just lonely. Yeah. Okay, we've got a couple concerns with tarping this boat. One is this piece of trim right here has come loose, and I don't want the tarp to catch on the end of that. So I'm going to just try and find a screw that'll hold that in there. The other thing is, if you look up on top there, on the starboard side, there's an area that had a piece of glass in it. And then on the port side, it's broken free. And one piece of glass, I think, is still good. The other one is broke. So I either want to take that structure off completely, or I want to fix the left side so the tarp runs up and over it smoothly. Let's start with the simple stuff, which is a new screw for this piece of trim here. All right, buddy, it's fine. We'll go check your food, all right, right now. This was the answer, a number 8 by 1 inch wood screw. So that piece of trim is now secure. All right, let's climb up on top and see what it looks like. My wife thinks this boat is hideous, but I don't know, I just kind of like it. It's just kind of a cool old wooden boat with a fiberglass top on it. And it's an old Tollycraft, which is kind of a storied name. Now they're up here on top. Here's the piece of wood that came out of it. And here's the centerpiece. You can see it's seen better days. There's the old piece of glass. So I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking we should try and repair it, don't you think? I don't know. Let me look at it a little bit. There's how that piece goes in. But you can see it's pretty well busted up. And it needs to be up like this. So I don't want to do a long-term fix right now. I just want to do something quick and dirty. So I'm thinking just maybe cut a piece of wood that I can go from here up to here and push this up like that, maybe. So I don't know. Let me see what I've got in the way of scraps that could make that happen. I'm not sure Bear is happy about me being up here on his boat. He's been very protective of it. Also, the black cat has been sleeping up here apparently, and those two fight, so I'm sure they're not up here at the same time. Anyway, we've made good progress. Blue painter's tape for the wind. I cut this little support piece here, and it's just held in place by the gravity, the weight of this piece coming across, and some blue tape. And then over on this side, that joint was pretty sloppy, so I just put some blue tape on it, remembering that the canvas is going to be over the top of all of this, so I figure we're in pretty good shape. We've got some stuff. I've got that gas can out on the bow that needs to come off. I've got some other pieces on the bow. And then I'm thinking maybe I should go ahead and remove this windshield wiper. Oh, also, that thing needs to go somewhere else. That's not a big deal. We can do that. But I think, yeah, let's do something with that motor there. Wow, getting that windshield wiper motor off was a lot more work than I expected. The problem was that there was a roll pin in it up here, and it would not come out. So I ended up breaking it off and then filing off the end of it to get everything apart. So this will not be good in the future. If I ever get this boat going, I will need a new windshield wiper motor. But that's the least of our problems. All right, get the gas can off the bow, clean everything else up, and we can start throwing a tarp over the thing. There, how's that look? Gonna call it done. No, but it's hard, just one person. Got a long way to go. I'll show you my progress. What do you think? I got the tarp stretched all the way, and 29 feet works just fine. 19 wide is a little too wide, but that's all right. So I'm going to start tying it off. I'm not going to finish this. I've got a snowmobile club meeting tonight, and it's about 4:30, so I've got about 30 minutes to work on this. So I'll show you what I do get done. It's 5 o'clock, and I've got to wrap up for the night. Need to go change for the meeting. So I started about midway down. I tied the rope off on this side. I went underneath the trailer, through the hole on the other side, and back and forth, and so I'm just weaving it to the front. And I'm pretty much all the way to the front, but what I haven't done is tighten it. So now that I'm almost to the front, I'm going to come back and tighten it up, and then I'm pretty much out of rope, at least out of that thing of rope. I think I have one more. If not, I know where the hardware store is, and make a run down there tomorrow. So this thing will be out of the shop tomorrow, one way or another. All right, see you tomorrow. It's Wednesday afternoon, about 1 p.m., and the boat is all tarped. I went ahead and pulled the ropes tight on the front, and I might have done that last night. And then I put rope on the back, and I pulled those tight and tied that all off. So I am happy. Even got to use some blue painter's tape to tighten up this front area here on both sides. I'm not sure how that'll hold up. Should be good enough. So now the issue is getting it out of the shop and parking it somewhere. The original plan was to put it down on the lower property on the other side of those trees. And then yesterday I'm thinking, actually, what if I parked it alongside the shop here where the Broncos parked? The problem is this area is kind of off camber, and it's going to be tight getting in here because of that big rock right there. So I thought, nah, that's not going to work. Then I thought, well, I'll just move the motorhome out of the way, and I'll park it right there next to the snowmobile trailer. But that boat's pretty long, longer than the motorhome is. So I thought, you know what? The best place to put it is where the snowmobile trailer is. I can back it in there. I can then put the snowmobile trailer where the motorhome is. I can then put the motorhome in here. The smaller landscape trailer can go there, and then I'll be all set. Of course, that just means a whole bunch of moving stuff around, which is going to be a pain in the butt. But let's get her done. That's a wrap on this week's Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alright, again, not a real exciting video. Here's the deal. I mean, we've got a lot to do prepping for a yard sale, and that's kind of what this video's been about. I did get to spend a little bit of time in the hills. Look behind me, you see my John Deere tractor. Upcoming videos, I'm actually using it. I don't know if it'll be next week or the following week. Also went to a couple car shows, those are coming too. So anyway, remember the number one goal of Procrastination Garage, keep me motivated, keep me working, which I've been doing, either down in the shop, out in the yard, or just playing up in the hills. Down in the comments, please tell me about the projects you're working on, or better yet, tell me about things you should be working on and not working on. Remember, my name is Matt. This is Procrastination Garage, and we will see you soon. Thanks.